All right, we're just going to go live now to the Akwesasne area of Quebec for the update on the St. Lawrence River search for the body of a baby, who is missing after 6 bodies were recovered. Listen in.
The Hogansburg and Akwesasne Volunteer Fire Department for the relentless efforts since yesterday on our waters. The Akwesasne Mohawk Police are providing an update regarding discovering several bodies in the Akwesasne territory. Previously, 6 individuals were recovered from the waters in Akwesasne. Today, 2 additional bodies have been recovered. One, an infant, a Canadian citizen of Romanian descent, and 1 adult female believed to be an Indian national. A total of 8 bodies have now been recovered from the waters. All are believed to have been attempting illegal entry into the United States from Canada. The circumstances surrounding the deaths continue to be investigated. There is no threat for the general public. Akwesasne Mohawk Police are working with Immigration Canada and Homeland Security to confirm their identities so that the next of kin notifications can be made. Police are continuing to search the waterways for missing persons Casey Oakes, who was reported missing to the Akwesasne Mohawk Police yesterday. At this time, we cannot confirm that the 2 incidents are related. This is all the information that can be released at this time, as it is an ongoing investigation. We thank you for your cooperation. If you have any information to assist with either of the investigations, please contact the Akwesasne Mohawk Police Service at 613-575-2340. Thank you. At the present time, we don't know. We're searching for him. His whereabouts, we cannot precise.
The infant and the woman, where in the vicinity were they found?
All 6 bodies were found within the same vicinity off the channel in Stein.
What do you have to say about, we've gotten reports at any time that there were multiple calls made to AMPS the night of Wednesday night around 11:30, that community members heard people on the river screaming for help and that they called AMPS. So can you give us some more information on that?
From what I've been told, the calls came in slightly earlier than that. They were not calls of distress of people screaming for help. They were more like calls of people shouting out in the vicinity of the river at the point where the church is located, or maybe possibly coming from St. Regis Island. At that point in time, our patrols patrolled the area, patrolled the shoreline. We also utilize special military-grade equipment that we have that permits us to see at night, commonly known as night vision. And also the apparatus has a component that permits you to seek body heat. And from what the officers saw while they were patrolling that area and investigating that area where the potential shouting may have came from, they were not able to see any human heat or any movement on the water.
How long were they out there searching at that time?
I don't have that for you right now, sorry, sir.
What about the incident before this, where it was reported in the community that there was a man who lost control of his boat and was on one of the islands for a couple of days before he was gone?
Well, right now I'm not prepared to answer that question, but I could get back to you if you want to give me precise dates.
Yeah.
We could talk at a later time about that particular situation.
Sorry, can you talk about the Akwesasne Mohawk Police Service and how they have been constantly on the water? This is not something new, like in terms of patrolling the area, that there's a lot of diligence that is paid to securing the territory.
Yes, it's been, as you know, we've had water patrol for many years now, but in the last 12 months, we have received additional funding money to permit to bring up our complement of marine officers patrolling our waterways. So in the past, it had been sporadic patrols, and I would say in the last 9 months to a year, the patrols have been pretty much on a daily basis. And soon to be, we have more officers that are graduated yesterday. That's how I was, and that's why I was late getting here and made it just on time for this press conference. I was at the graduation at the Ontario Police College. Our teams will be higher in numbers, and our patrol, we're aiming at a 24/7 patrol now because of our increased complement of officers. As you know, or for those of you who don't know, last year many press people were here for the unveiling of the new budget that we received, as well as our new boats that were seen on the water. And we permitted certain people to come on the boats with us to see exactly what we do here at AMPS to help secure our waterways. So we do our best with the money and the equipment that we have. I think we're doing pretty good. We do manage to secure, to a certain extent, our territory and our waters. And unfortunately, these situations happen. It's not something that's new. We've seen it happen in the past. And hopefully, as we move forward, it'll something that we'll be able to reduce, can hopefully one day eliminate, but that maybe just wishful thinking right now, but we are working towards that.
Could we get more details on the calls that came into AMPS on Wednesday night, like around what time, and how many calls, and what was how were the shouts on the water characterized at that time?
Well, as I stated earlier, the calls came in slightly earlier than that. I believe it was around 9:30. And there wasn't multiple calls. Well, multiple, yes, there was 2, but it wasn't like 10 or, 10 to 15 or 20 calls coming in. Sometimes that could happen here in the community. And it basically, it wasn't, like I said, it wasn't somebody screaming in distress for help. It was just shouting, like could have been anything. People, inebriated kids outside will say, well, it's a little late. Well, no, not for teenagers. It's not late. So it wasn't nothing out of the norm. That's what I'm saying.
The calls were shouting? Or
shouting.
Calls about shouting?
Calls about shouting.
How did you determine that it wasn't someone yelling for help? Because the people that I spoke with said they were screaming for help.
Well, I can't contradict what you heard. I'm just going from what I'm provided as information. I'm sorry.
Do you think weather played a factor in this recent weeks, and the fact that they maybe go on bad weather because they know patrols are not going to be on the water?
Well, I mean, asking the question is pretty much answering. Obviously, it's always safer to cross on calm days, but it could be anything that could have caused this tragedy. It could be a faulty boat. It could be human error, and that the investigation will determine, so I won't extend on that.
Do you have any reason to believe that Casey Oaks was involved in smoking? So you known to police for smoking?
Right now, as it stands today, Mr. Oaks is considered a person of interest that we're looking for, and there's nothing that leads me to believe at this point in time that he is related to this. The investigation will determine that.
What can you tell us, Chief, about the numbers of interception of people that your services that were believed to be people who were smuggled across the border?
What I can say here today is that since January, we have had 80 interceptions of people that were trying to gain access to the United States coming through our territory.
Were you worried?
Well, there's always been people coming through here. It's obviously now lately there's been more attention brought to it because of other situations across the province and across the country with illegal migrants trying to gain access to the United States. So am I worried? I've always been worried about it. It's just that now, obviously, we can see there's more attention that's brought to it.
And what happens to those people when they are intercepted? What do you do with them?
Well, when we intercept them, they're detained. They're not under arrest. They're detained, and it's a entry issue, which is under the Canadian Border Services Agency. So the people are remanded to CBSA and under the IRPA. And then what happens with CBSA? Well, you'll have to ask them the question, but it's not something of an infraction of the criminal code or penal code procedures.
Going the other way from the U.S. to Canada?
Rarely. It's mostly people going south.
What can you tell us, like in this case we have Romanians and Indian nationals, not the first time. It seems like most of the people who come to here are either Indian nationals or Romanians. What can you tell us about organizations that are plugged into community members here that are facilitating these, that are using the community to facilitate this?
I'm glad you brought up in that sense too. I would like people to keep in mind that because of our geographics, there's certain people of our community people looking to make money and they're exploited, whether it be in the present case we're talking about human smuggling. It's money, quick money, but there is a risk that comes with it, and this unfortunately showed at a larger scale the risk that is involved with this. So it's the criminal activity, whether it be through Montreal, Toronto, or Ottawa, that know because of where we're located that they could facilitate, and they'll find people within our community that are to a certain extent exploited because of their knowledge of the waters and the land, the lay of the land, that they will get these people into the United States.
And in terms of the boat that was recovered, what can you tell us about that boat and who it's connected to?
Right now, there's no information that'll be divulged about it because it's under investigation, as you know. The boat is in our custody. We have it in our property room, and it'll be expertise next week sometime.
Can you confirm if it's drowning death?
Pardon me? No, that'll be the coroner's office that'll confirm cause of death.
Do you believe there could be more victims?
Well, right now, we're still looking for one person. Whether the person is related to this incident or totally separate, there could be.
How many seats were
I cannot answer. I do not know.
Can you tell us something about the age of the people whose body were recovered?
Well, until the next of kin have all been notified, we'll not be relaying any information that may help and identify the missing people until the next of kin have been notified.
Can you
Sorry.
confirm how many of the people, the bodies have been discovered so far, you've confirmed were Canadian citizens?
One.
Just one.
Two, sorry, two, since we found the second infant. Yes, the children.
Are you looking for another boat? If you can't say for sure whether these incidents are connected. If they're not, then there's a possibility. So are you looking for other?
Everything is possible. The outcome of the investigation as we proceed on a daily basis will dictate the proof that we'll be looking for in the near future.
Were
Is
there
that it?
life jackets found on any of the people who were recovered?
Yeah.
On all of them, or some of them?
So,
Right, that's it.
What about
all right, thank you.
Crane Chief,
Je vais en allouer un en français. Bonjour, Poirier.
C'est une question.
Oui, certainement. J'ai commencé par
I started by
l'introduction,
introducing
comme quoi que la tragédie qui s'est produite ici.
the introduction of the tragedy that took place on our
Non
territory.
seulement que c'est une tragédie de grande envergure,
Not only
la
a major
communauté aussi,
tragedy, but the community
la
as
ressent.
well
Et puis,
can feel it,
toutes les
is
sympathies,
reeling
toutes
from
nos-
it, all
nos
our
images de la
sympathies and
communauté, ainsi
prayers
que le
from the
personnel et
entire
moi-même,
community and
on les
the
envoie
personnel
aux
and myself.
victimes ainsi qu'à leurs familles.
We send them to the
D'autre
victims and
part,
their
j'aimerais aussi
families.
remercier toutes les
We also
organisations
want
qui
to
nous ont
thank
prêté main
all
forte
the
depuis hier,
organizations that have helped
notamment la Garde côtière canadienne,
the
la
Canadian
GRC,
Coast
ainsi que la
Guard
Sûreté du Québec.
and
Et plus
Sûreté du
précisément,
Québec
notre service d'incendie volontaire ici à Akwesasne.
and our fire services here in Akwesasne, so that since yesterday have been on the waters, helping us with the water search. There have been 80 incidents since the beginning of the year. I'll say this is nothing new for us, this illegal migration. It's always existed, certainly since I've been here since chief, 12 years. Is there more? No, it's very common here. People want to go to the United States. We don't know why, but we do know that it's facilitated sometimes by people from here. Often vulnerable young people who want to make some quick money, and they're exploited by the organizations from Montreal, Ottawa, Toronto, and even people outside Canada. And they know that because of our geographic situation, they offer a quick buck to cross people, get people across. But this week, the boat flipped over. It does happen, unfortunately. It's dangerous. And we do our best to stop this kind of thing from happening. 80 people have been stopped at the border since the beginning of the year. They're detained, they're not arrested. They're turned over to the CBSA, and then the CBSA takes care of them.
No, she brought up 48 in French. I just spoke about 80. Oh, okay, sorry, that's about the difference between, okay.
People and incidents?
Yes, so 48 incidents in implicating 80 people, sorry.
Sorry,
Thank you.
Did you talk earlier, because I wasn't here, but you talked earlier about how a lot of these incidents, they're not originating in Akwesasne, and they're not originating with people from the community. So can you elaborate on that because of the efforts, that the Akwesasne Mohawk Council and, Tribal Council and both AMPS and Tribal PD have gone through in order to try to, maneuver through this geography here in the territory?
Yes, thank you for asking. That's what I was starting to explain in French. Puis je vais y revenir pour terminer en français. So, if you didn't know, I think you know by now, by the end of the day, our geography here is quite peculiar. And it's unique in our country and probably in North America. So because of that comes the trial and tribulations to try to patrol, whether it be ground or waterways. Please rest assured, AMPS, our fellow partner agencies, Tribal Police, the Mohawk Council of Akwesasne, and Tribal Council of Akwesasne, we're all aware of this particular type of events that happen, and there's many others. We're just here to talk about this one today, but there's many other issues that our communities must endure only because of geographics. And I don't want to sound like I'm crying wolf here and that we're the victim, but being where we are brings its slew of issues, and there's people that are willing to profit from our issues, and it's unfortunate, but that's the way it is.
Just wanted to ask you about how the impact this is having on the community, and when Canadians start, are consuming these tragic events, what would you like them to keep in mind?
I can add a little comment to that. Thanks. I'm Grand Chief Abram Benedict, the Mohawk Council of Akwesasne. So obviously this is a very tragic time for our community. Our heartfelt sympathies go out to those affected for our people as well. Let's not forget that the first responders, the police services, the fire services are our people out there, and having to unfortunately pull out 8 bodies, including 2 children, out of the water. It's been very traumatic for us, and we're grieving as well. Over the next couple of weeks, we'll be providing supports to our first responders, our community, those that are supporting. There's a number of our folks out there supporting the first responders by bringing them meals, making sure there's there's some healing that's already taking place to support them. So definitely we're reeling from this tragedy. It does bring to light the challenges of immigration for Canada and the United States. And, this has been a big challenge for both countries the last little while. And as we take a moment to pause, and we question why is this happening, right? And it seems to be in a search of something better, right? And you put your family at stake, and this is definitely heart-wrenching. And this goes to the core of what these policy decisions and policy issues are for Canada and the United States, and they need to take a better look at this. The incident that has happened here today, unfolded over the last 3 days, no community wants to go through this. No community wants to have people pulled either from their backyards or from the rivers that they have, whether they be from their own community, in seek of prosperity and hopeness. And that's really, that's what it seems to be, that people who are either in Canada or United States, whether they legally or illegally, are trying to seek in other countries. And so unfortunately our community has been exploited by this, continues to be, and I can tell you that as the elected leadership of our community, we're bringing awareness to Canada and the United States around these policy decisions that need to be made, that need to be readjusted to make sure that these tragedies don't continue to happen.
Right, Chief, the Safe Third Country agreement was amended last week. I believe they were here. Are you concerned that these changes will bring about more of these types of events in your community?
Well, as the Chief has alluded to, the Chief of Police, this is not, unfortunately, the first time that tragedy has happened in our community like this. We've had other losses, unfortunately, in the St. Lawrence in relation to immigration or immigrants or asylum seekers or what have you. I believe that it may be related. It's really hard to know, but I can tell you that regardless, our police services will continue to work with our partners, continue to secure our community and be safe, and hopefully we don't see a repeat of this again.
What kind of trauma does this create for people in this community? With this immediate comes more police.
Well, the immediate is the loss, right? While the persons that have perished, is very tragic, we can relate to that. And especially when the news that the police services informed everybody as a child, right? And nobody, that really strikes home as being parents, as being family. And so the grief of losing people has struck in us as well. And so we'll be continuing to deal with that for the foreseeable future. Our services that were on the ground, again, as I mentioned earlier, we'll support them on it, but that is definitely on the top of our mind, is making sure that all the supports are available for those who have been affected by a loss.
And community members I've spoken to are worried that they're going to be penalized for the actions of a few. That there's going to be increased surveillance on the rivers, increased surveillance on the roads, that people are going to get stopped and whatever. The pressure that already exists is going to be doubled because of the high visibility and impact that just happened. Is that something that you worry about, or is it just, that's...
Well, I can tell you that the Akwesasne Police Service do a stellar job in what they do every day, and that the relationships that we have built with other agencies, whether they be in Canada or United States, help support the work that they do. So this unfortunate event, the human trafficking element of this likely will continue for the foreseeable future, for really reasons unknown. We're trying to find better lives, maybe perhaps a fleeting prosecution or what have you. People will continue to, exploit our community going forward. The daily implications, as the chief has mentioned earlier, chief of police, the realities of our community being an international border community dissected by an international line in 2 provinces makes it extremely challenging for all of our services, for our police services to continue to secure this community. So we'll continue to lobby both governments, Canada and the United States, to provide the resources to us to continue to secure our community, make it safe, so that these incidents don't happen again, so that we're not being exploited by organized crime happening through Akwesasne.
Do you think that this is going to allow the media and the outside communities, aside from us, that it's going to perpetuate negative stereotypes about who we are as a people?
Well, you know as well as I do from being a community member that the media has not always been polite to our people, but you also know that unfortunately, exploiting our community and using the challenges here with the border and enforcement is not new to our community. So, I ask as all the media outlets here, please, it's my community members are, as upset that, this tragedy is happening in my community, but also upset that none of you show up for the great things that happen here. We celebrate lots of good things happening in this community, the challenges that we overcome, and I invite all of the media to continue to monitor Akwesasne for the great things happening. Because for us, for our leadership, it's about partnership, it's about opportunity and creating opportunities for our community. You, as representatives of the media, are a strong part in that, right? So, the negative media, yes, but absolutely talk about the opportunities and the positives that happen in this community. Akwesasne, 2nd largest First Nation in Canada, the only community that's dissected like it is by the international provincial borderline, lots of great things happening here.
Oh.
Can you tell us about the number of people who are participating in the search right now?
So the Akwesasne Service has a number of their units out there, including that's being supported by the Akwesasne Fire Department as well. I don't have an exact number of how many forces are out there, but overall the operation is large because we do have the mental health workers, we have the health work reporting those workers as well, and a number of volunteers that are coming together to support the community that is supporting these recovery efforts.
How long will this search continue? I don't know if this is a question for the chief or for the new grand chief.
As long as elements that we discover as we move along, as we're speaking now, I can answer part of Madame's question that the Sûreté du Québec divers are here. They're in our waters. They're still searching. As a rule, the timeline that's given for divers to continue on searching and diving is given by themselves, by the divers, by the head diver, and by the organization they represent. So that'll be the Sûreté du Québec's call. But on our end, we have our, like I said, we have our own marine unit that's out there, that will be out there daily, and we'll keep on searching until it's needed, unless other information comes in or the investigation takes another swing. We're looking at the waters right now.
Did the divers help in finding the today? I know yesterday with the assistance of the Coast Guard.
Today, it was the Sûreté du Québec's helicopter that from an aerial perspective were able to locate the bodies. J'aimerais ça terminer tantôt aussi avec le questionnement que vous aviez en français.
Finish up that question you had in French. On the number of victims, since the beginning of the year, we've had 48 incidents, calls for service, that involved 80 people who were stopped by the police and then sent to the CBSA. And
Les
that's
gens
their
sont pas
file.
en état d'arrestation, sont seulement
The
détenus
people
par
are not
et puis,
under
la
arrest.
question,
They're simply
la
detained.
réponse en totalité, vous l'obtiendrez via l'Agence frontalière canadienne.
And
Mais en
the
pratique, je vais
full
dire que les
answer you'll
policiers
get
seront
from
détenus,
CBSA.
on les remet. Et puis par la suite, sont ramenés.
We detain them at the border and then we hand them over to CBSA. That's the protocol.
Right now, no. That'll be all. Thank you. Merci.
Thank you.